Diver saves a whale, but it's the thank you gesture that melted everyone's hearts. While working with the team of volunteers, James Mosquito noticed a humpback whale coming out to breathe. At first, he was excited, but when the marine creature spent much time on the surface, the diver became alarmed. The poor animal was tangled in the nets, and without wasting much time, his team began the rescue operation. However, after the whale was freed, it did something so amazing that the rescuers were stunned. One morning, a fisherman noticed a huge whale entangled in the crab trap lines near the Farallon Islands. He immediately called the authority and asked them to help the poor animal, who was said to be a 45 to 50-foot female humpback whale. A team of divers were sent to the location where they evaluated the situation. It was horrifying. James Mosquito was the first one to dive into the waters and was devastated to see that the ropes were wrapped at least 4 times around the tail, the back and the left front flipper, and there was a line in the whale's mouth. Assuming that the whale must have turned and twisted to free itself, that the ropes got more entangled. The trap had held the aquatic animal so tightly that it had cut deep into the flesh. As a result, the cuts and the wounds were visible. According to the diver, at least 12 crab traps, weighing 90 pounds each, had captured the mammal. The overall weight of the traps was pulling the humpback whale down, because of which she had difficulty in breathing. Reportedly, the waters were infested by sharks, and there were high chances that one might lurk around and harm the poor animal. So James asked one of his team members to keep an eye on the waters and inform them if he notices a shark making rounds. Meanwhile, the man took other volunteers with him and jumped down into the waters. Seeing the situation, the rescuers thought that it would be difficult, but still, they had to give it a shot. When the divers came near the whale, at first, they became cautious as the poor mammal was already frightened and injured. To calm her down, James put his hand on the whale and said, "I'm here to help you. I'm not going to hurt you." Then the divers began their job of freeing the animal and took around an hour to cut the ropes. While cutting the trap around the eyes and the mouth, Mosquito said that the female humpback whale winked at him. Finally, the team were able to free the humpback whale from the traps, and what happened next was completely mind-blowing. Instead of swimming away, the marine creature said thank you to its rescuers in the most amazing way. The whale swam to each diver and nuzzled them. Not just that, it also moved in circles 8 times as a show of gratitude. It seemed kind of affectionate, like a dog that's happy to see you, Mosquito said. I never felt threatened. It was an amazing, unbelievable experience. It is believed that the 50-ton humpback mammal must have been caught in the ropes while migrating between the Northern California coast and Baja California. However, there have been instances where mammal has saved a life of a human from sharks. Whale scientist Nan Hauser had an experience that no one would have believed without proof. Thankfully, the whole incident was captured on the video, where the woman is seen observing a humpback whale. One of the whales noticed and began swimming toward her. At first, she kept her distance, but then it came too close. The scientist touched the creature's head. However, suddenly the mammal began to push back against her. Nan was worried that one wrong move of the fin and the woman could lose her life. Little did she know that the animal was trying to do the opposite, saving her life from something far more terrifying. The whale kept tucking her under its fin, and as a result, the woman was getting injured by the barnacles on the skin. The scientist quickly tried to reach the surface, and the whale helped her out of the water so that she could see her boat and other crew members. Nan again went back into the water, but the animal would usher her forward, and that's when she noticed the whale's eyes go wide. She followed the line of sight and saw another whale slapping its tail in the water in a defensive manner. Then the scientist saw a huge tiger shark and panicked, but the good whale protected her and took Hauser to her boat. After reaching safely, Nan turned back and said, "I love you too. I love you too." The interesting thing is that over a year later, while investigating a whale in the water, she noticed a familiar, unique mark on the head. Then the scientist realized that it was the same humpback whale that had saved her life.